Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're going to do a few flip ups in the Steampunk Lapbook. Almost forgot what I was calling it. Yes, this is a lap book where you fold it out. I think it's called a lap book because you can sit it on your lap like you're reading a book and it folds out similar to how a book does. Okay, so these are the pieces that I've picked out, these flying balloons. And then I'm going to have that as the background. And we will look at our sneaky peek right now. Everybody's been saying how they enjoy seeing how I put my genealogy journal together. I probably need to get in here and do a little bit more fixing up on it, but yeah, I just wish it wasn't glaring so much when I'm showing it to you here. So over here, I got with Dad. I'm not even sure when. It was at least 10 to 15 years ago. Because I was curious about all the places that the family lived once they moved over here to Virginia. And I know Fort Dinwiddie was the very first place that they moved to. It was a fort way back in George Washington time. And what did I say? It stood from 1754 to 1780. Oh, that's the slave cabin. Sorry. Yeah, there's a little slave cabin here, and then the actual brick building home. I don't know if this was the particular fort or this was built on the site afterward. But this is what they called Fort Dinwiddie. And over here, I've got my Uncle Harrison. He's here feeding the chickens. You can see the chickens kind of down below him here. And he lived here in 1930-31, somewhere around in there. Now, my grandmother's brother, James Harrison Sammons, he had came over maybe 1928, later 1928. I think I figured out from his children's birth and where it's recorded that they were born. And he was able to talk my grandpa Cleve into coming over. He was said to have 100 head of cattle and 100 acres of corn, but he didn't own it. He was like overseeing it for the owners of the ranch or whatever you would call this. He needed help, and Cleve was a farmer, so he kind of knew what he was doing, and he wanted to get out of coal mining really bad. And then when the Depression hit, I think they lost it all. The white farmhouse is an example of the tenant farmhouse that families would live in that worked on the farm. I don't know if you can see it that well. It's kind of hard to see it. I got these at the Genealogy Society, and somebody had taken them before they had tore down the fort and everything. But it was quite a few of these tenant houses around, and I know my family lived in one. I think my Aunt Elizabeth and her husband Kurt lived in one. They may have actually, I think they shared it with James Harrison's family. I think that's how that worked, especially if that's the way it was when the census taker came around in 1930. Now, the next place that they lived was called the Brill Place. Oh, well, J.R. Webb Jr.'s The Brill Place and McClung. They lived about 1930 to 34. Dad said his brother Bob took him riding and showed him these things in places where the family used to live, and that's how he knew how to show me. Bob said, "You always knew you were getting close to the Brill Place on the old back road near McClung when the Reynolds sun-cured tobacco tin on the old tree was spotted." Now, when he showed it to me, it was just a big rust spot, but it was there. It was still there. The tin was located on the side of a tree on the left. All right, sorry, I was digging around because I went and I searched online and I found this, and this is what it looked like: Reynolds sun-cured. And I think it was actually either a square or something that was on the actual tree, but that's basically what the brand would look like. And let's see, this building down below here, this is actually the McClung store. Now, Grandma Rhoda would dress up a chicken and she'd take it down to the store, and she would use it in trade to get like staples, like flour and or cornmeal. Cornmeal was probably more like what they would use a lot, but she'd need a little flour for gravy, and anything else like that they might need to cook with. Now this was the house, and then the store was over here. Had a post office there, and oddly enough, on my mother's side of the family, my Uncle Guy used to ride horseback and deliver mail from the store. I don't know when that was exactly, but let's see. Uncle Fred is the one that said that they lived at the J.R. Webb's right after Fort Dinwiddie. Dad said he'd heard that they lived at the Brill place through Uncle Bob. And so I had to kind of piece all that together. McClung is located about 3/4 of a mile on the left, just past the Wildcat School Road. He said there was a post office and general store. And then little Lily Jane, she was an aunt of mine, but she didn't live until she was like 12 or something. But she was born up there. And when I found her birth certificate, her name is Lily Jane, and she was born in Lily. So I don't know if that's what they named her after, but I think they named after J.R. Webb's wife, whose name was Lily. So I always like to try to figure that out as well. Now here is an older picture. Now this is my Uncle Fred, his date, Margaret Hodge, Press Webb, and Delphi. These two are brother and sister. Yeah, Delphi scoped out Press Webb, knew that was the man for her. He came up and was doing some carpentry work at the home that they lived in there at McClung, and she started sparking with him. Well, needless to say, Aunt Reen, she was a stinker. Now, she would go and sit with him, and he would be eating something for lunch. Now, he came from an influential kind of family, so he had like oranges and fruit and things like that. Well, she would always barter some fruit off of him, and he would be teasing her because he was building her an outhouse, a double-seated outhouse. Okay, these 3 pieces that I've picked out, this one is going to be cut to go on the back. Let me find it here. These 2 pieces are what you get to when you open up the lap book. It does like that and then like that. So when you get in here and you open it up all the way, this will be the 2 pieces that you see. Now this is where I'm going to put these background papers, but they're going to go on last. Then before that, I'm going to do the flip ups, and they will be made out of, well, they'll be made with these covering them, but made out of file folder. So I grabbed a couple more file folders, and I need to get on here and I need to measure what I want to do. I want to thank everybody for coming to visit and see me today and see what I had to show you. I'm wondering if I can get, I don't know that I can get both of them. I've got a little spine here right there, and then I got one right there. So it might be that I can take and use this fold over to get my pieces out of. Let's try that. And then I'll have one for this side, and that looks like that's gonna work out just right, just a little bit less maybe. Okay, let me get my slicer and dicer. Okay, here we go. Let me get this and cut it about right there. How wide is this? This file folder is about 11 3/4. So I'm guessing that the 6 7/8 is about right in the middle. All right, see if I cut that all the way. I think it did. That'll be for the left side, and this will be for the right. Now I'm looking at it like I kind of like this tab that's hanging down here. I don't think that's going to be too long. Well, it's actually right down to the bottom. We will see. Now I do need to get in here and cut a little bit more of this off. And then this other part will be for the bottom section. So this will be up here. And I might get in here and score this a little bit shorter because I don't want it to be that long. And then this piece will be like for the bottom side. Like it'll go like that. But I am going to cut that off. I don't want that. And didn't cut it off close enough there. Did I? Okay. Get in here and do a little bit of this. And I need to get in here and do some cutting, rounding off the edges, but I'll wait and do that when I get to after I've covered it. Now I'm going to go in a little bit more with this one because I did want to utilize that fold, but it was a little too long. Now if I cut that off at the bottom, I may be okay, but I kind of like that. So we are going to go right here and do it right there. I scored it about no, that's not 5/8, it's 3/8 inward a little further. There. And this part here, this is probably going to get covered, so I don't have to worry about that. So that's for one side, and this will be for the other. Let me go ahead and cut this off. Yeah, I felt like it needed a flip up, and I've seen a lot of people doing flip ups for these. Now this is where I need to score it right there, and I do need to score the other one. I forgot because it's also a flip up. This one I'm going to get and score it right there. And this piece. Okay, hopefully that's going to line up looking straight across. We will see. We will see. Okay, I think next I need to cut the pieces for it. Just throw that up out of the way. And the pieces for it will be this one. And I think I figured out that it was going to, I wanted it to be a little shorter actually, because I wanted to cut it about right there. So it wouldn't be displacing a lot of those balloons. So I might have to do another score. Probably so. All right, let me get in here and cut this about right there. Right above that balloon and under that one. All right. I do agree with the width, so we will go ahead and figure out where the width would be. That's going to be right here. Now I might have to cut it down a little bit because I wanted a little bit of the outline to show, but I'm going to see. I want the whole saying to be seen, so let me cut it right here. Okay, and I'm going to have to cut it in a little bit more. That's the only problem with these. You got to work with them. Now see, I want to be able to ink around the outside edge and see it, so I'm going to cut this in just a bit more. Right there. So let's get right here. I'm not really losing anything that I can see. That little piece can be used for something else. Yep, there we go. So then the part that would be on the bottom, I'm guessing I could do something like that, and then that could be written on. Yeah, I think that will work. So let's mark where this needs to be cut. And I do also need to cut it, cut it a little less, because that's right on the money. Okay. let's go ahead and get this done. I didn't measure. Yeah, I did. Measured how tall it needed to be, and where did it go? I gotta take my glasses off to see where the mark is. I think that's it. Yeah. If you move it just the right way, that graphite will glow. So then you can kind of see where it is. Now these little pieces like that, I can use those for like flip outs or something else. So don't worry about those little guys. Okay. I want to keep that balloon over there, so I'm going to go in here and cut that little piece right there off. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. And this one's going to be a little bit more trickier because I'm going to be cutting it down the center this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as my piece to go by. And I'm going to get on there and do that really good and hard. And then we'll mark it right there. I'll get a good bit of the balloons. That's the part I was trying to work with there. And then right here. And right here. I'm cutting right through the middle of that one balloon, but oh well. I'm trying to see. Okay, so there's that one. I don't think it turned out too bad. That goes with this one. I didn't make it quite long enough, but that's okay. Because I don't really like this part down here, so I'm probably going to cut that off. So let's go ahead and do that. Mark it where I need to slice it. Yeah, it didn't have the type of tab that I wanted. And that's all you have to do. You get in here and you do what you like. You don't have to make it exactly like I'm making it. You know, do your own thing. Just do whatever makes sense to you and what's more fun. Okay, that's the top. And then I've got a little bit of Paris here, but this piece, is that one bigger than this one? I think it is. All right, so I'm gonna cut that off right there, and then we'll see what we can work on here. I'm kind of wondering about that piece that I put back here. Yeah, like that. That actually may go in here better since I whacked on that piece a good bit. So we will do that. We'll measure this out to go with it. And it it helps pull it all together, you know, as well. Oh. Let's move over a little bit. So I get the word adventure in there. All right. Then we'll get on here and cut that little bit of excess off. Like right there. Okay. And then we got to get to the rest of it, which is this. And I kind of like that writing. Trying to figure out what blends better, though. I don't know that it really matters, so we'll just go with it as it is. And I need to mark where this needs to be cut. Right there. All right. There we go. Okay, so now I can get rid of this for now until I'm ready for my background. And then we can start putting them together. Alright, so let me get this out of the way. And I'll come back to it in a minute. Okay, so I have my vintage photo oxide here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to round these corners. I'll just round them first. And then we will round, let's see, which one is that? The top or the bottom? I got to figure that out. Okay. So that's the bottom. So it'll go in that direction. This is the top. I do need to round off this side. This side I'm not so sure what I want to do with. I may just kind of go down like that. Maybe that's how I'll do it. Okay. We'll let that ride. Now what I'm going to do is get in here and ink. For you, Phyllis, this is for you. You want to always see me ink. And you were sad to see that I didn't ink on film when I did on the outside of the actual lap book. And this is all I did. I just put this one color just so it would have an aged appearance to it. And I'm going to go across the top just in case that's seen. And then I'm also going to go inside here and do the back side as well. Because I think I've got another piece that I got to cut that will go back here. Yeah. I think one of them has the emblem for Staples on it, and I didn't. And also I've got that, so I need to cover that as well. Okay. And hopefully I have to cut and see if I can make that work with the cover piece. All right, now this might have to get covered almost all the way, so this coloring, inking may not be seen since I've got that label right up top there. Okay. Now, I'll come back and do the other one in a minute. First, I'm going to go ahead and get this one covered. And this is the part I'm wondering about right here. Although, it really doesn't go all the way down there, does it? But I can use that for a word or something, because it's going to flip up as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get in here. Let's see about putting some. And I'm just going to use regular Fairly Arts glue if it'll come out. I haven't used it in a few days, so it's wanting to be particular on me. Okay. You don't really need that much. I just like to put a lot on here. I'm doing paper to paper, so I shouldn't have any issues. Okay. Now, let's put her right here. I should have inked around the outside edge of the paper itself, but I didn't. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. There. There is that one. Next. And this one will go here. Right. And I've got to see about doing the bottom here. Like that. Oops. And that is a little too long. Because, see, I wanted it to kind of stick out So I got to cut that a little bit more. You'll always have to work with it a little bit. Okay. Well, cut that a little bit extra off. And gluing that one down as well. Whew. Well, I haven't really been working on my census that much lately. I've been trying to figure stuff out. When you look at one census and then 10 years later you look at the next census, sometimes things just don't work out right. Now, somebody owned, that's great, because you can trace those better, especially if you know they didn't move. That's the highlight there, that they didn't move. And you know what? I just put that on upside down. Okay, let's try that again. I'm glad I caught that. Yeah, because one goes up, and then the other one goes down. And although it's kind of hard to see that that one balloon is in the one direction, it's definitely, it would have been floating upside down. Which I wouldn't put past something steampunk, but yeah. Come on. There. That'll work. Am I still doing it? Oh, it is upside down. Well, and that's the right way. We're not going to worry about it. How about that? We're not going to worry about it. Because I can't really tell that that is a balloon. And I'll put something over top of that. Other than that, everything looks good. Oh. Already problems, right, everybody? I'm already having problems. Okay, so this is going to go on this one. And we're going to go ahead, and this is up this way. And we're going to go ahead and round the corners. Both of them. And yeah, that one's in the right direction. I just double checking myself. Okay, so that one is needing to have some ink on it. And this one, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this one. I might cut that down and cut that one piece totally off. I think that's how I'm going to do it. Because didn't I cut that one down? Or did I? I'm going to go ahead and do it, y'all. I just don't like that weird edge there. Alright. And then I'm going to round that. Okay. Now it's time for the inking. Okay, doing the same exact thing, just going around the edges, just in case that's seen, I like having a little peeking out. I was washing some clothes, so I started a fire in the basement, and I think it's getting hot in here now. Whew. Okay. There's that one. Yeah, I've got this one census I'm looking at, and I guess I have to remember that back then they'd go over the mountain to go to the next creek. and it was a whole lot faster than going by road. And then again, some of the roads back then were not where they are today, because they got a new highway there. And before that, I think they just had these gravel roads that went along the train track. So I'm having to, and it's taxing my brain. I just don't think as well as I used to in my youth, that's for sure. Okay, got that done. Let's put that back over here. And it may be all we have to do. All right. Now this is the one that has the big piece on it. That also needs to be rounded. And we'll make sure it's the right size. I think I have to cut a little bit of that off. So let's go ahead and cut it at the bottom because I like that top. There. Yep, I think that works. All right. Pop it again. And we have it. I'm going to leave this up here because I'll probably need it for the next piece. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to see that. Lining it up along the bottom and the sides. I really like that Bon Voyage. Okay, and then this piece, I had to cut that down a little bit so something isn't going to match as well. Thinking it's going to be this piece. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue this down first. It'll save me from having to cut anything. So let me do it like that. Like this. Whoops. Okay. And I'm going to have this here. And you know what? I need to cut the bottoms. Is this the right width as the other? Just about. But I think I'm going to make a pocket out of it. No. Oh, no. I keep forgetting. One has to go one direction. One has to go the other. Did I leave it on there too long? Oh, well. I think I got enough of it all. Yeah. So, let me rethink this. So, this is going to be going in that direction. And needs to have its corners cut. There we go. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm just not with it today. Just not with it. But, you know, you got to remember what direction you're going in for how this is going to be situated on the page. Alright, so this one is going to go up here, right toward the top, like that. Let's rub it down. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. I'm just happy I'm going in the right direction. Alright, now this one needs to have a thumb punch right here in the center. And we're going to go ahead and give it a little ink just so it'll stand out. But only right there. Okay. Now, this is going to get glue around the outside edge. I don't care that I did round the bottom on that one and not the other one. That's just okay. Now that all can dry, and I think it's good. All right, so our bottom is right here. Got to match it up with the sides close as possible. Okay. There. I think it'll do. I think. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put in our pieces. Trying to make sure we don't have anything in the way. Now, on the back of these, I did put on the big pieces, I did do a backing, because, you know, that one had that red and everything on it, and I peeled that off. But the little ones don't, and I don't know whether I'm going to put something on the back or not. I'm going to wait and see if I got any pieces left over at the end that may work. Now, if you had some score tape, you could probably, I've seen a lot of people use that instead of gluing, but I think I used up all my score tape. Yeah, I'm looking over there, and I don't see any. So we're just going to use some glue. Now, fabric tack will work just as good. Sometimes it holds better. Now, this step needs to go on first before the background paper goes on. Now, try to get it right in the middle of any spines that you have here. I'm going to push it down a little bit first, but then I'm going to fold it over and make sure it's straight before it gets too dry. Oh, I can move up a little bit, which I think I want to, and then you can make sure it's on the edge of your score lines, or your spines, I mean. Okay, I think that's about as straight as I can get it, and I'm going to go ahead and go across really well here, pushing it in. Okay. We'll do the same, opening it as well. Okay, now, the bottom one, I don't even think I ever folded the score line on that one. So, that goes like this. And you do another batch of glue. Yeah, this is not hard. It just, as you see, you have to keep your mind on what's right side up and what's right side down. All right, I think that's straight. I'm going to put this down to make sure it's even with the top, which it is. Then we're just going to score this down. Okay. I haven't decided, but I may come back and do, I don't know if that I even need it. I was thinking of policy closures. I really don't have that much room. I don't even think I need them. Actually, I'm going to cut this extra piece off right here. Since I scored this down a bit, I don't need that much. There. Whee. Oh, I forgot to show you. I went to Michael's. I forgot all about it. I went to Michael's yesterday. I had a 40% off one item for my birthday, and I also had a $5 voucher. And they have changed it around. Of course, you know, they don't have that much Tim Holtz anymore, but they have a nice little selection of dyes now. And I got this one that I knew would be working really well in my next journal that I'm going to be doing, which I never got around to doing the photograph journal, right, Wayne? Wayne said, whatever happened to that? Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to push this up as far as I can get it to go, though. And I found a die that I think will work very, very nicely with it. All right. And then we're going to flip this up, go underneath of it. Whoops. There. And then I need to fold the score down here and glue this piece on. Yeah, I got some more of my Tombow glue stick because I may be doing another paper bag journal. I saved a bunch of paper bags from eating out, and they make a really nice little inexpensive journal. You know, the paper bags, I just fold them inside out so you don't see that, you know, the emblem or the brand for the restaurant that you went to. And yeah, they work out really nice. Okay, is that even Steven? Yes, it is. Okay, now I'm going to cap my glue real quick while we're measuring the background. And as you can see, I got one over here that I'm going to put a word or something on. I think I got a word that I've got over there that maybe Chestita sent me. And we want this one, the Le Balloon. And we're going to have that as our background. Got to get a few things out of the way. Get it here. And that's going to cover up these tabby areas here. Now, I think this will be around the money. Where's my pencil? And we're going to just go like right along that edge. And how big does it need to be? I think that'll work because I've got all these little flying things up here, and I think I'd like to have that being visible. I might cut the tip of my guy off there, but I don't think it's going to hurt anything. All right. Now, let's go ahead and cut this off. This as well could be used for something here. I have some side things like a side tuck or anything along those lines that you could use that up with. I'm going to try to use as much of this as I can, and we'll come back and see how I did when everything is said and done. Now I want to cut this down a little bit more. So it's basically going to be... Wait, I don't want to cut that edge. I want to cut this edge. There. Okay, let's see if that's right. That's right that way. Let's see if it's right this way. Oh yeah, right on the money. All right, so we're going to put this one in first. Like right here, cover up all of that. Yeah. Good job. And the blue goes with it. Now, I actually did that one wrong, the top piece. I didn't spin it around the right way for that background. Or the tab, I mean. And so I had to end up using the ocean side sticking out, which I'm fine with. I had debated on using it anyway. Alright, let's see if I can get this on here. Let's see how she looks. Alright, and what else did I get? Oh, they have, at Michael's, they've got the spritzes now. Now, I've got to look in and see what the dickens is the difference in the spritz and the mica sprays. If anybody out there knows, give me a heads up on that. I know there's something that has to be a little different. I don't know if it's the spritz is a lighter formation of it, or or how that works. I do need to look into that, but I got a 3-pack. Now, I got one before that is, it's a green, a real pretty green. I can't remember. It's bundled sage, I think it is. I really love that color. So, I've got that one already, but I never used it. I was going to try it out and use it, and I never did. You know. So, what I need to do... Oh, and I put those on backward. Oh, good grief. Voyages and Fantastiques are not in the same place, but that's okay. They're not supposed to be mirror images, but I was hoping that they would be, but that's okay. But anyway, about the spritzes. I see people use them quite a bit, and I need to do some backgrounds or tags, tag bases, something I want to play around with here eventually. I probably won't, I might finish one on screen, but mostly they're just to get started, and then I'll pick up and do something with them at a later date. But I thought the spritzes would be a very pretty color to go with some of those backgrounds I want to do. Okay, now let's see. There we go. Push this down. And there we go. Whoops. What in the world is going on there? Oh, it's too long. Let me do a quick little snippy snip here with my scissors. Maybe not that pair. And then I'll get back in here and do a little bit more gluing. Crap. I'll be back. Alright, it's not as straight as it could be down here, but it's fine. I may end up putting a pocket or something there, because I've got these pockets that I debated putting in here. Like this one, I kind of like that. I've also got this one that may go in here instead of being able to see all of that. Let's see what I could do. I wanted to have something that, maybe it'll be something there, I don't know. It also could go on the bottom side of one of these. Huh. We'll have to see. I'm still debating that. Alright, let me cap my glue, and I think we're done for the day. I will flip this shut, and then I'll flip it open and show you what we got going here after I get everything out of the way. Alright. So this will shut like this and like that, and it's getting chunky. It's getting some weight to it now. So here is our cover, our spine we did the other day. We're going to fill or put something on these two pieces when I figure out what color I want to go with. We got our clock. I'm still working out where the butterfly goes, but everybody says put the butterfly in here. So it will go. Then we open this like that. We got our beautiful ladies. Now you have this over here, and I pulled this out because I'm thinking I'm going to use this on there, and I'm going to tuck it under here and trace it. See, I'm going to lose that lady, which is okay, and I'm going to lose that right there. But then it will go on here, cover up the Sturgill Cemetery, and I may just leave it just like that. Yeah, I think that'll work. I need to figure out what I want to put here. And then here is our first flip up, flip out. I like the gears, so I left that side up. And got all the flying balloons and stuff here. So everything goes together with the flying things. This flips up and has this here with the blue meridian. And then we have the bottom down there. It doesn't have anything on it. Only thing I messed up there was the sides that they were to go on. Now over here, there's a really tiny, tiny little tuck here, which is fine because I have some tags that would go in great here. And then I've got the rest of this and then this side. I wanted to do some, what do you call it? The waterfall element in here somewhere. So one of these sides is probably going to have a waterfall element. Okay, everybody. Oh, I wanted to show you what I got. Keep forgetting. All right. So here was Tombow glue. I love this glue because it's real nice and sticky. And it doesn't dry up like the Elmer's does. It stays real good and sticky. Keeps your elements, papers on your paper or whatever you're putting them on it. It's really great. Now here's the spritz. It was $12.99. I got a senior discount. And my 40% off on it. And so where is it? The spritz. Yeah, it was $12.99. I got $5.20. I had a voucher, so I got $1.79 off the voucher. Senior Citizen gave me 78 cents, and the discount gave me $5.20 off of it, which was 40%. So I only had to pay $5.22 for these three. Now the film thing, look at that. It's got like a kind of a decayed film strip there. It's got like a slide piece. Then it's got these two larger pieces. And there was a whole lot of empty spots there. So I'm eager to see what else they get in. This was some new stuff. And it was $5.35 because I got $1.84 off with the voucher. It was $7.99, I mean. So all of these were $7.99, which isn't a bad price. Look at the size of those. And these would be great for like your photograph albums or something. That's a 3x5 or 4x6 kind of size. And then the three colors I got was antique linen, walnut stain, and weathered wood. This was the only one that was sort of like a variation pack. But I thought I would get a lot of different usages out of that, as opposed to 3 colors of blue or 3 colors of purple or 3 colors of pink or yellow. That's about what the other ones were there. So, anyway, thank you. I hope everybody has a great, great day. And come back again soon, all my subscribers and viewers. I really appreciate you. Bye-bye.